Welcome to episode 8 of the Nintendo Newscast. Introducing your hosts, Happily Candied and Amiibo Jason.
Good evening, Nintendo fans, or good morning, good afternoon, maybe?
Yep.
Could be any of those things.
Any of those.
Whatever you want, wherever you are, whatever time it is. How you doing? I'm Amiibo Jason, one of your hosts, the host with the most, some would say.
Not really.
Nobody says that. You're right. It's disappointing. I wish more people did say that. Maybe you could make it a thing. Maybe you guys could make it a thing. But either way,
there are already so many things we have.
There are so many things. Way too many things.
Yes.
I'm one of your hosts, Amiibo Jason, here again, as always, with
Lauren, also known as Happily Candied.
Happily Candied. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing really well. I'm really excited about this first part we're going to be talking about because it has to do with everything that we've been working on for so long.
Wait, we're talking about stuff?
We are actually talking about stuff
Wait,
today.
is this the newscast?
Where have you been?
I don't know.
We've been life has been a little hectic.
I mean, yeah, we had a name change. We had a website update.
Oh, update? That's an understatement.
A little bit. We had a shop open. We just got back from E3. Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I got a little mini hamburger. His name is
Thanks to who?
KK Slider.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The last I heard, his name was
Slider.
just Slider. So I like the idea of naming him KK Slider.
It's a mini burger.
He's right next to my Cinnaminion. So when our larger cinnamon roll and hamburger cannot make it,
Yep.
these are their representatives.
These are the ambassadors from the giant and giant plush food kingdom.
Yep. If you're not familiar with them, they're squishables, and
They're cute.
I'm addicted to my cinnamon roll.
I do like the mini burger.
Yes.
I shouldn't like it. I'm a
why
grown
not?
man. Because I'm a grown man.
Who cares?
I should not have a little mini hamburger toy. But I do.
I'm the type of person, especially with what we talk about, with what we deal with on a daily basis,
Yeah.
which is video games. Video games, people often think that they are only for children, and that is extremely untrue in every
That's true.
way. Video games can apply to every person of every age. And that's a misconception that I think needs to finally just disappear completely.
And mini hamburgers are cool too.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's good. I'm okay if you're okay.
Oh, I'm always okay.
All right, there you go. All right, we have a decent amount of news to cover today. We have some fun stuff. We have some Pokemon stuff. We have some movie stuff, which is really cool. Especially it's a franchise I care so much about. Can you call it a franchise if they only have one?
No.
But now they technically announced a second. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
I promise. We have so much cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think first and foremost, we want to address the major changes that we had in our lives, the major changes we had to our website, and then most recently, our design change.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, or honestly, if you get this podcast online, you know that we changed our name. It's like no major surprise. But Lauren, why don't you take it away? Tell the good folks at home what we did for them.
For them.
For them, yeah.
For everybody.
It's for the fans.
It's for the community, and it's also for, I think, our peace of mind, too. We want to constantly see Nintendo Wire, which is the first part of this change. We want to see Nintendo Wire evolve. And it's been evolving from day one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to continue to evolve as everything grows. And so, first and foremost, I'd like to say that we are no longer Nintendo Inquirer.
Oh my gosh.
I know, what a surprise.
I can't believe it.
We are Nintendo Wire. And as our article on our site stated, right before we launched the new name, we changed it for several reasons.
But why?
But why?
Why would we get rid of Inquirer?
You mean Inquirer?
Inquirer.
There were a lot of reasons. Inquirer, for one thing, it's a terrible word to have to repeat over and over again.
It's a hard word.
It's a hard word, and we got used to saying it.
I never got used to saying
Really,
it.
I got used
once.
to saying it over time, but people who we spoke with had a very difficult time grasping it, and I was a little surprised. Some people had never even heard of the word Inquirer before. And
Besides the National Enquirer.
Besides the National Enquirer. So we wanted something a little bit more friendly and user-friendly to everybody.
And this is not a bash on what we see with Skylanders Inquirer
No, not
or
at
Dimensions Inquirer. It works out really well for them.
Yes.
For us, it was something that we've been wanting to do for some
Yes,
time.
yes.
So no disrespect to anybody who
Absolutely
liked
not.
Inquirer or anybody
No.
that still uses Inquirer. It's just it's not the word for us.
No, it wasn't for us, and we're very happy with the direction that we did move in.
We
And
are.
What I like about it is that Wire has this edginess about it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a clean word. It's a shorter word. I'm a big fan of shorter usernames and just in general, even just company names,
Oh, yeah.
everything, every site names, URLs. I
yeah.
like shorter URLs.
We cut the syllables in half down the middle.
And something else that I like too is that it keeps that long I sound. So you have the Inquirer and you have Wire.
Yeah.
So to me, it was a nice, easy transition to move into. And we're happy. Our team is happy. From what we've heard from other people, we're getting positive feedback from other people.
More or less.
More or less. I'm happy with the change. I'm very happy
So
with
am I.
it. Yes. It's nice browsing to a site where you feel at home with,
Yeah.
you know? And that's exactly how I feel.
I do too.
Moving right along with the changes, right before we changed our name, we changed the entire design.
Right before E3, actually, and there's actually a funny story to go with that, too.
Oh,
I'll get into that.
There's always a funny story.
There has to be.
Yeah. So, we changed the entire look of Nintendo Wire. And
With the help of Seth Hay,
Yes,
who's
Seth
a
Hay.
wizard, by the way.
Absolute Wizard, yes.
Guys, and if you guys don't know who he is, if you have seen Custom Amiibo with custom boxes, there's a good chance that Seth Hay made that box.
Yes.
Seth Hay or TJ. TJ does. TJ
Yes.
from Custom Conquest. He makes custom boxes too.
Yep.
But I know that's how you guys probably maybe recognize the name Seth Hay.
Yeah, but Seth has done an amazing job not only developing our site, but also using his creative talents
Oh, yeah.
to put together the design of the site. And he was able to integrate pieces of what we had on the original Nintendo Inquirer site, and especially like the logo, the color scheme, and everything. So it was a very smooth transition, and I think that what I like is that it still represents everything that we stand for, and that is quality.
Quality
In visuals and quality in content in every aspect.
So it's up and running now. If you guys want to see it, it's nintendowire.com. We are incredibly proud of it. A few things that a lot of people don't know. Number one, to comment on our site now, we have this really cool account system, so you can set up your own private account.
Everything is linked
Oh,
together.
Yeah. Top right-hand corner of the screen, set your account up. It's really cool for the website. Under the tools section, we now have an Amiibo tracker. Not a tracker, we have an Amiibo database, a cover plate database, an Amiibo card database. And in the coming days, we are like days away from this, we have this really cool tracking system that's going to let you track your Amiibos, track your cover plates,
Yep.
track your Amiibo cards, and even cooler, something I haven't seen done yet before, at least on the scale that we're going to be doing it, track your limited edition consoles.
Yes.
And we're talking DS, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, new 3DS, 3DS, Wii,
Everything.
Wii U, anything that it has like a collection, like a collector's edition, we're going to have in a really cool
Yeah.
database for you.
And if you follow us regularly, you might have noticed one of our newer series called Collector's Corner. And
Yeah,
I think
very
that's
cool series.
It's a nice way to kind of familiarize with yourself with a lot of the collectibles out there, especially when it comes to handhelds, because Nintendo has been notorious for beautiful limited edition or special edition
Yeah.
handhelds, and you're going to see a lot of that in our databases. Personally, as a collector, I love the idea of being able to show off everything that I own.
There's so much stuff, though. I mean,
yeah.
I think Amiibo did that for me, where
Yeah.
I just got to the point where I'm like, I don't know what I need. I'm still kind of in the same boat with Amiibo cards,
Yeah.
where I have no idea what we're missing. And you can put it on paper all you want. I know there's apps that do it too, but I like the idea that we're gonna have everything in one place.
In one place. And I think that's definitely something that sets Nintendo Wire apart from everything else. We want to keep things organized. We want to make things user-friendly for people.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like that one-stop site for people.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a one-stop site.
You were about
where
to say a shop.
I was-
we have a shop too.
I
We're
was
gonna talk
gonna
about that in a minute.
Yeah. But it's one place that you can go to for not only news, the latest news, and also really thoughtful pieces. We have some wonderful editorial work by a lot of our team members. But now it's a place that you can bring in your more personal life and your personal
Yeah.
collections and ring that all together.
So now I can't wait to tell you about the shop, because
Yes.
the shop is something I'm incredibly proud of, and it's very cool.
Very,
Very cool.
it's
There's
very,
two
very
varies
cool.
on this one. On our navigation bar now we have a shop icon, because who doesn't want to have a T-shirt with a me of Amiibo Jason on it? I know I do. So we have that. We have really cool Amiibo news stuff. We have Nintendo Wire stuff. We have coffee mugs with our logo on it and our newscasts logo on it. But I think the most impressive piece is we're partnering with amazing artists, and we have this really cool Pokemon design up there right now. It's going to be essentially once a month. So in July, we have a theme called Poke Paradise. You can check it out now. I'm going to show it to you on the screen right now. You can see our amazing artist who actually made this for us.
Yep.
So many really cool things there too. And then starting next month, we're going to have a completely new design. So we have that. We're going to have a lot of the stuff that we have for our Patreon exclusive, we have a custom box. We have a promo box. We're going to be putting those on our shop too, so people can very easily find what's in those.
Yeah.
So,
if you're excited about Pokemon Sun and Moon, this is definitely the way to celebrate that with this first design that we have.
yeah, I love it. So,
It's gorgeous. The colors are eye-catching, and it's something that I would love to not only wear, but the other items that we have available in this shop, especially like notebooks,
Yeah.
and mugs, and I think there's even a dress and
Oh, yeah,
everything.
there's a dress,
There's a
mini
dress,
skirt.
yeah. So
You name it.
So many different options, and I like the variety.
and then finally, I wanted to talk about the custom that was in the custom box last month
Yep.
for June. Excuse me. It's going to be shipping out mid-July. We have AK Shop 08, who is an outstanding custom artist who made these amazing Kirby amiibo. If you're watching this and not listening to it, we're going to show you those on the screen right now. She did such an amazing job. This was the very first month we did a custom box. So if you ended up picking one up, expect to get that in your mailbox sometime, I would say mid-July.
Yep.
So we're extremely excited about it. If you look in the description below, I'm going to send you directly to like her Instagram page and her shop, so you can see all the cool stuff that she does, because it's really mind-blowing, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Well, for me, the most exciting part is that every single person who supports us is going to receive a unique, one-of-a-kind piece
Yep.
that nobody else has. And yet, somehow, especially in this series that's going out now, they're still a little related to each other.
Yeah.
And you'll see that in the preview that we give.
So, and then this is kind of the first time we're actually formally announcing this.
Yeah.
So for this month's custom, we have Ashley, you might know her as Kick Ash. She's doing these really cool Paper Mario amiibo for us for the custom boxes. So stay tuned. Check out pretty much Nintendo Wire for any details on when we're going to drop some pictures of that. It's going to be soon.
It will be.
But I think that's a lot of the site stuff.
Yes,
That's
it
what
is.
we've been up to.
Yes.
We've been busy.
It's the bulk, I think, of everything. It's a nice little neat summary
Yeah.
of it all, but it's been crazy on our end over here.
All right, before we get into too much of our awesome Nintendo coverage, I wanted to just take a moment to thank our Patreons. So we have some amazing people who supported us this month on Patreon. It's July 1st, so we already had our June stuff process. So I want to thank Bobby Aridondo. He's actually one of our executive producers on the show.
Yeah.
He is an absolute amazing guy.
He is.
Absolutely love him.
He
So-
supported us from the very beginning.
he really has.
Yeah.
So he's one of our big sponsors on the Nintendo Newscast. So thank you, Bobby. I also want to thank Stephen Paterno. So we actually met Stephen in New York.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. He's going to be sponsoring our Pokemon segment this week.
Yay!
So thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
And then I want to go down the list and thank some of the people who actually got our custom box this month. We have Matthew Norris. We have Chocolate Cake. Ben Cullen, Annie Wong, and Dennis Gribben. I hope I pronounced all of those right. If I didn't, you can come and kick me in the butt. I really do.
Please
apologize
do
if I
anyway.
did.
Anyway.
But we wanted to thank all of you. You guys are going to be getting your boxes in the mail soon. But again, we couldn't really run this newscast and grow it like we have been
Yeah.
without your support. So thank you very much. If you guys are interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com. Right now, I still think it's under Nintendo Inquirer
It
because we
is.
can't change the URL. But it's technically, if you do a search for Nintendo Wire, we
Yeah.
will pop up on
Yeah.
Patreon, and you can find us there. So even if you don't want to donate and just want to take a look at the cool stuff that we're doing over there, by all means, take a look.
Yeah, it's fun.
Why don't we move on to our Pokemon segment right now?
Sounds good.
Awesome. And we had a really big Nintendo day. Unfortunately, a couple days ago, some, I don't know what you would call them, some hackers, maybe. They kind of spoiled the fun a little bit early, but
Wow,
that's fine.
what a surprise. That's never happened before.
Honestly, it wasn't a big deal to
No.
me because Nintendo of Japan just said, okay, whatever, and they just released
They
the
just
trailer
went
anyway.
with it, yeah.
But we have 7 brand new Pokemon that were announced. I'm going to do my absolute best to not butcher the
I will help
names
you.
of these Pokemon.
I will help you.
So why don't we go down the good old
list.
list here. So the first one we have is Tapu Koko.
Tapu Koko.
Tapu Koko. So Tapu Koko is Oh my gosh, I don't even know how you would explain what this thing is.
It's a bird. It looks like a bird.
I think the best way...
A fiery bird. A fiery bird. Fiery bird.
So I think that the best way that I'm going to be able to explain this to you is I'm going to read to you from some of the official bios
Sure.
on these 7 Pokemon, because they're kind of complicated. I think what's his name again? Taku Popo?
Why don't you just click back to that screen?
Oh, hang on. I'm actually pulling it up somewhere a little bit different
Tapu.
here.
Tapu.
Tapu. Hang on. There he is. All right, there he is. Tapu Koko.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read to you a little bit of his bio. Tapu Koko is a special Pokemon that protects the area where it lives, the Alola region. It's one of those days.
It's like, it's not aloha, but it's alola. It's very feminine sounding.
It's the guardian deity of the Melamili Island, one of the islands in the Alola region. Although it's known as a guardian deity, it's surprisingly fickle, and it won't necessarily come to your aid if you need help. So that doesn't sound nice.
No, it doesn't.
But we have a photo of him right up here, too.
Yeah.
What do you think of this guy? Because I think some of the complaints that we had
Yes.
with the 7 Pokemon that were announced is that some people think they're ugly. They're not cute. This one is kind of like this fire-haired, gigantic arm
Bird.
bird dealy.
Well, something with Pokemon, I don't think every single Pokemon needs to be cute.
That's
I
true.
think that in this round, there just happen to not be as many cute ones in there. I don't think that, even though I tend to lean towards cute things, that doesn't mean that everything that ever is released needs to be cute. It's silly. I'm not really into overly complicated designs for Pokemon. I like the more simplistic designs. So I think if I were to give my opinion on this and critique it, I would say that I'm just not into it because it's kind of complicated and I'm not particularly drawn to the color scheme, or even the bio of it doesn't appeal to me as much.
I like that it has it has ties to the region that it's in.
Yeah.
I like that it looks like it's a little bit more tropical.
Yes.
It kind of looks like a tiki head to a certain level too.
Yeah, you're right. You're
so.
right. It has almost these really intricate designs on it.
But either way, it's really nice.
Yes.
So the next one we have up is Charjabug.
Charjabug.
Charjabug. He is a battery Pokemon. He looks like a little square battery.
It's very clever. As soon as I read the name for the first time, I had to say it out loud, and I was like, Charjabug.
Charjabug.
And I was like, oh, that's actually very clever. And this one, it takes a completely different course by being very simplistic in design. And in color scheme, it's a little dull.
So essentially, this is the evolved form of, I cannot remember what this one is called. Oh, it's Grubbin.
Grubbin.
So Grubbin is kind of like the Weedle
Yeah.
of this generation. So or the Caterpie of this generation. So it's the generic bug Pokemon. We already have all 3 of its evolutions at this point. So we have Grubbin turning into Electrobug. Was that Electrobug, right? No, Charjabug.
Charjabug.
Electrobug. Amiibo Jason. Come on, I just found this. We just found these names out. How many Pokemon are there at this point?
Oh, gosh. You said over 700.
There's way over 700.
Way over 700
so
now.
it's crazy. But either way, he's a little cube. He looks like a Volkswagen van.
Yeah. I see it now.
With like 2 teeth coming out. So
Yeah.
nothing too crazy, nothing really to write home about our friend Charjabug.
Charjabug.
All right, then we have Vikavolt. Vikavolt looks like a spaceship from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, it totally does.
I can't remember what the ship is called, but it looks like one of the ships from Star Wars Episode 3 at the very beginning of the movie. I'll see if I can find like a little side-by-side comparison to give you. He is the evolution of Charjabug. Mm-hmm. He is an electric bug type. He looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say bad like that. I wanted to say BA.
Oh, got it.
But it's a family-friendly podcast.
Yes,
I can't say that.
Gotta keep things clean.
What do you think of this one? It kind of looks like a spaceship.
It does look like a spaceship. Honestly, nothing striking to me about it.
Yeah.
It's a little boring to me.
Boring?
Sorry.
Oh.
It's a little boring. If I saw this among all of the other ones that we've been shown lately, this would not stick out to me at all. In fact, I already forgot about it until you pulled it up on the screen. I'm sorry.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Either
It's
way,
gonna happen. Some are gonna stand out in the forefront, and others are gonna fade into the background, and that just happened with him.
Either way, you're going to be running into this thing like crazy in Pokemon Sun and Moon when it comes out. So I'm sure you're going to be sick of it just as much as you are already at this point. So next up, we have Drampa.
Yes.
It's like Grandpa. It's a Grandpa dragon.
This one intrigues me.
It reminds
really
me
intrigues me.
of the dragon from the Wind Waker.
Oh, yes, it does.
It's that elongated neck, but it also looks like a hippie.
It's a little
kind of looks like
droopy.
Jerry Garcia. So
If Jerry Garcia was a Pokemon.
I think this is like the Puff the Magic Dragon type Pokemon, if you know what I'm saying,
he
folks.
looks so chill to me. Like, hey, what's up?
So Drampa are dragons that live alone in the mountains, 10,000 feet above sea level. Since they can't obtain the berries they feed on at that range, they descend to the base of the mountains at dawn every day. They love communicating with people and other Pokemon and getting high.
Really?
I don't think that last part
I
is
don't
accurate.
think that last part was in there at all.
He looks like a stoner.
He does.
A little bit.
An old one, though. A very old one. He has, I like, this one is appealing to me. Maybe it's because he has more pastels.
Yeah.
But he's also just interesting to me. And also, even though he looks like a bigger Pokemon, he is more basic. He's not overcomplicated in design.
He's got a lot of good, he has personality to
He
him.
does.
That's one of the reasons I like him so
The
much.
shape is so unique. And I want to know more about this one.
It's 9 feet 10 inches tall, so this guy is one large Pokemon. So he's a normal dragon type.
Yes.
So in case you're curious, don't put him near any fairy type Pokemon. Next, we have probably
Ooh.
everybody's least favorite
Yes.
so far, at least I've seen online.
Yep.
It's Bruxish. It was initially translated from Bruxfish.
Yes.
And then for the English trailer, they got rid of the F, so Bruxish.
Yes.
It is a uninspired looking artistic disaster. Like somebody threw paint at a wall and added some generic smiley teeth on it.
Not only does it look a little cruel in design, but okay, this is the feeling that I'm getting with the color scheme and the entire design of it. It looks cheap to me.
It doesn't
looks
remind me
like-
of a Pokemon.
No, it does not look like a Pokemon at all. I'd love to see this thing all of a sudden really surprise everybody with some really cool like evolutions or
be.
Something that makes it stand out a bit more in a likable way. But for now, I can see why people do not like it. I'm not a fan.
It's a water psychic type, which is I like. I like
Yes,
the fact that it's
that
water
is
psychic.
interesting.
Honestly, it doesn't really have a lot of other fun things to talk about.
No.
Besides, it has this big, gigantic, tubey-looking thing on top of its head that apparently that's where it gets its psychic powers from. I feel bad for the people that live in the Pokemon world. I feel bad that they can't even go swimming without, like, a gigantic tube on head looking gigantic ugly fish swimming up and, like, hitting it with psychic powers.
Yeah.
It's got to be a very scary place to live.
It could be.
Which is why they send 10-year-olds out in the world to go battle these things.
Yeah,
I guess, right.
Maybe it's the most friendly Pokemon you'll ever come across.
Dude, that thing looks like it could chomp your leg off.
I agree, but who knows? It's a mystery at this point. We don't know enough about it.
Don't like it.
Okay.
My least favorite
trust
too.
Me. Same.
So I'm not just saying that for the internet.
I'm trying to be nice about it here a little bit.
All right, now one of my favorite Pokemons.
Yes.
It's Cutiefly. Oh my god. It's Cutiefly!
The name is way too cheesy for me. I think it's definitely fitting for the Pokemon, but it's way too cheesy.
The amount of PewDiePie, Cutiefly references we're going to hear from this is going to be pretty outstanding.
Right.
I bet if we did a Google search, we'd already find, like, Cutiefly with PewDiePie's head. But he's cute. He or she, whatever.
Yeah.
I like this thing a lot. This is what type we have. It's a bug fairy type. It looks like a fairy type.
It does look like a bug fairy type.
It reminds me of a bee that has mated with a hummingbird.
Oh, totally.
So, and who wouldn't do that? It's so cute. I love it.
Thanks.
Cutiefly can detect the auroras of living things, including people, Pokemon, and plants. Mm-hmm. They search out flowers by the color and the brightness of their auroras, and then gather their nectar and pollen. So it's essentially a bee with psychic abilities. Because could you imagine how terrifying that would be if, like, the bees here
had psychic
abilities? Just another reason to fear these things.
I already freak out over them all the time.
But
if they looked like this, I would love that. I'd gravitate towards the bees.
It is cute.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm sorry if I butchered this one. I'm going to do my best. Togedamaru.
I think you're putting the stress on the wrong syllable.
Togedamaru?
I think it's Togedamaru.
Togedamaru is our Pikachu ripoff of this generation.
When he sent me over a file earlier today, he put Pika ripoff as the file name. And I guess I can see it. I think it still stands apart enough, though, in especially the shape of it. So I wouldn't say it's really that big of a ripoff.
Yeah. let's go ahead and read his bio.
Okay.
I know in the trailer you see like his spikes like pop out.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of cute in its own
is.
way. And his official category
Is
a roly-poly Pokemon.
Oh, now that's interesting.
He's a foot tall, 7.3 pounds.
Aw.
I'd probably pick this thing up as a pet.
Yes.
He's a roly-poly Pokemon that gathers electricity and stores it. I never heard of that before. I never heard of a Pokemon with the capability
No.
to store electricity.
See, that sets it apart.
No, Pikachu does.
Oh,
That was a joke.
that was a joke.
That was
I
a
missed
joke.
it.
It's
missed
okay.
it. Sorry.
Whoosh. The long needle that grows from the back of its head works as a lightning rod to attract electricity. Now that is new. So I do like that. Because I think Pikachu gets the electricity like from its cheek sacs.
Yeah.
I don't know my Pokemon anatomy as much as I used to as a kid. But I think
You don't
that's how
have
we
one
got
of
it.
those big posters up that shows the anatomy? I'm pretty sure I've seen one of those.
That
for
wasn't a
Pikachu.
Pokemon.
I've seen one for Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tomadamaru is able to release powerful electric type attacks. So he's electric steel type. He
Yep.
doesn't look like a steel type, but I think his shell is steel.
I can actually see the steel in that color.
Yeah, it's a
with that
little
color.
silver.
It's grayish.
So-
I think they're trying to get it across with that. It's interesting.
So those are the 7 new ones, but we also
Yep.
did get a little bit more information too. So we got some information about some Pokemon that we ended up seeing in Korokoro.
Yep.
And this was a couple weeks back. And I was honestly shocked they never showed these things off at E3.
Yeah.
So why don't you take the first one?
Oh, Rockruff?
Yeah.
Now, this is the one that appeared in a very, very short clip in one of the trailers that we originally saw,
Yep.
I believe. Yes. And we only saw the tail of it. And so people were speculating, is that just a dog or is it a Pokemon?
It's a pupper.
Yes.
a
Or
doggo.
and then I thought, well, could it be a deer based on the shape of the tail? But it did end up being a dog.
Yep.
And people tend to really like this one. His name is Rockruff, which is a very appropriate name. Like you see it, it's kind of like I can't remember the term. It's an English term for it. It's kind of like Ponyo.
Yeah.
The reason they named Ponyo is that because when you see it, that's the feeling the name evokes, and I see that with Rockruff. That feeling is evoked when you see Rockruff.
So Rockruff is a rock type Pokemon,
Yes.
which is kind of cool. And he's a little pupper, little
Yep.
doggo. I love this guy too. He's adorable. But I think this is going to be like the kind of Pokemon that's going to get on my nerves after a while. It's because
I-
it was the same thing with XY.
Yeah.
XY had the little like Yorkie
Yep.
dog that everybody went insane for, and then it was the only thing I ever ran into, and I'm like, I just want this thing to go away.
I honestly, I think this one's boring.
Boring?
I don't really care. Dogs aren't my thing, and I don't care about this one. I was actually more interested in another one that looks like a dog that we'll get into in a little bit. It reminded me of a dog, and that one to me I thought was actually a lot cuter than Rockruff.
Yeah.
Rockruff just looks like your mangy mutt that you found down the road.
I like Rockruff. I'm a dog person though, so
I like this next one.
that's why I
though.
don't care about Litten.
Oh, I like
Nobody
that.
likes Litten.
Actually, Litten I think is one of the most popular ones right now.
Boo on Litten.
But this next one is called, and I love the name, Kamala.
Kamala the koala.
Kamala the koala. It's adorable.
So Kamala is a normal type Pokemon. It looks like a koala bear.
Yep.
It has like a bongo drum of some sort. I'll kind of read you a little bit of a bio, and then Happily Candied, I kind of want to know your opinion on this one because apparently you didn't like the pupper.
Nope.
No one has ever seen a Kamala awake. It eats, travels, and even battles when sound asleep. Its saliva can be... Yeah, now I know why you love it.
Yes, I like sleeping. I like the cuteness of this thing.
Its saliva can be used as medicine for the sick or sleepless, according to ancient people.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'd believe that. Just rub some of this koala spit
Right.
on
yeah,
your face.
Right.
They say if you take a small amount of saliva remaining after it eats leaves, water the saliva down and drink it, you'll be able to sleep well.
That's
I might have to try that.
That's creative.
I like
Very
that idea.
creative way of using some type of a part of a Pokemon.
So that's our 9th Pokemon.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion about Kamala,
Kamala.
the sleepy koala?
Oh, the fact that it's sleeping all the time. That's, I think, what's most attractive. That's why I think I liked it right off the bat, because everything I saw was it had its cute little eyes closed like
Yeah.
that. Also, koalas in general are just loved. They're cute. Kind of like pandas. Pandas are very loved and they're cute. They're cuddly. I'm much more drawn to this one over Rockruff.
Now, do you think it's going to evolve?
I think so.
Do you think... I'm thinking when it wakes up, it evolves.
Yeah.
And it evolves into something really cool, but I
Yeah.
don't know what.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to see the cute Pokemon evolve
Yeah.
because I love cute Pokemon.
Yeah. Like Pichu. Why would we ever want Pichu to evolve?
Pichu
Right?
is terrible. So...
I just like teasing him.
But
about
either
it.
way, I mean, the next Pokemon we're going to talk about is one that we already know from X and Y anyway.
Yes.
And this was actually about the one we were talking about anyway. The little Yorkie Pokemon evolves into... I can't remember the Yorkie Pokemon's name. It's going to kill me. But it evolves into Stoutland. And Stoutland is this gigantic doggo that... Take it away?
Herdier.
Herdier. No, wait. I think... Is Herdier the name of the big one or the little... I think Herdier is the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the second one. So scroll down...
Lillipup.
Lillipup. That's the pupper.
Which is an adorable name to begin with.
That's the pupper
See,
I
now
wanted to know
this
about.
to me is much cuter than Rockruff.
Yeah.
Much cuter. And the fact that, if you want to talk more about this guy.
So Stoutland is... And you're probably wondering why are we talking about an X and Y Pokemon.
Right.
In the trailer that we got today, we got some information in the form of this tiny little video clip of the character riding on the back of Stoutland. And it's majestic and it's amazing.
Yes.
And chances are, if you can ride on the back of this, you can probably ride on the back of other things. I do want to put this out there because I've seen other news outlets already go out and say, Pokemon riding confirmed, and Pokemon in X and Y, you can travel all around with it. Remember back in X and Y, you could ride on the back of a Rhydon? Yeah, you forgot about that, didn't you? You could, but you could only do it in one tiny little section, so who cares?
Yeah.
So this could just be like one of these things where you just one section and get to ride on the back.
Let's not jump ahead then.
But I would like to think that we are going to see more of a human/Pokemon connection this time around.
Yeah.
We've already seen some concept art. Of like a Blastoise on the back of a fire engine. We've seen Pokemon like doing, work with people in this region. So it wouldn't be completely out of the ordinary to see this kind of thing happen.
No.
I mean, you've been able to fly on your Pokemon since Gen 1. So who knows? Maybe we're going to get to see some epic mounts. Epic mounts. If you're a World of Warcraft player, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's just
Got to get those epic mounts.
It's just that directly tied with Pokemon is funny.
Yeah. So... I think that is a majority of the news that we got today.
Yesterday.
And the day before.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm excited for Sun and Moon. Mm-hmm. I'm bummed and a half that we still haven't gotten any information if we're going to see any kind of amiibo support.
Yes.
As we get closer and closer to the release date, I'm beginning to think we're not going to get any amiibo support with this game, which is, in my opinion, the biggest missed opportunity in Nintendo's history. Well, not quite that bad.
No,
not quite that bad.
If anything, I'm still holding out some hope for amiibo cards.
Could be. I just want any sort of Pokemon themed amiibo stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me why we wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
So
completely agree. And along with that, too, in other regions, it's been announced that steelbooks are coming out for these. The Sun and Moon games.
Yep, in Europe.
In Europe. And just today, yesterday, I believe, there was a bonus announced for Japan if you pre-order Sun and Moon. And if you order them individually, you get the corresponding legendary with each one. And if you order the pack with the both of them, you get both of the statues. And I believe you get another bonus on top of that.
Yeah.
So it's you get some nice things in other regions. I'm hoping that they bring more of that cool stuff over here, especially the 3DS systems, the special ones that we've seen in both Japan and Europe now.
Japan got these two really cool ones. They got a Pikachu one, and then they got one with the legendaries on it. Yeah. And the legendary one was announced that it's coming over to Europe. We have gotten no information on it yet.
Not yet.
Europe did also get an Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire Steelbook.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Nintendo America doesn't like to do that kind of thing here.
No, that stuff would sell here. It would sell very well, I think.
I wonder though. If the UK, granted, since they're going to be no longer in the EU, I wonder if that's going to have any kind of effect whatsoever.
I know that people were speculating about that.
Interesting.
That's just
something.
It's interesting to think about because this is such a new type of situation. I think we just kind of have to wait for this to kind of unfold and see where everything goes.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right, that does it for our Pokemon related coverage. I'm sure, since you guys know, you know how many Nintendo games we have coming up throughout the rest of the year, and it's not a lot.
Nope.
So expect more Pokemon coverage in newscasts to come.
Yep.
Unless we get some major NX news or something like that. So
fingers crossed.
Who knows?
Yeah.
This next piece isn't necessarily directly tied to Nintendo.
But it's so interesting.
But it could be, because we've heard specific rumors in the past that Nintendo characters might make an appearance, but Wreck-It Ralph 2 has been announced for 2018 release.
Officially
announced by Disney.
Yep.
John C. Reilly has maybe spilled the beans quite a few times.
Whoops. At least they made a joke about it.
They did. But either way, Wreck-It Ralph 2 is finally coming, and this is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. I might be a little biased because I am a classic game junkie. I have 2 arcade cabinets in the home right now. Actually, technically 3 if you count my Pokemon Snap Station.
Yep.
I love everything about retro games and arcade cabinets. I think they're great. So the idea of a character coming to life from an arcade cabinet is amazing.
You're not alone either, because our entire generation is very attached to the nostalgia of childhood. And we saw that with Bowser in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
And I remember as soon as I saw Bowser in the trailer, my heart leapt a little bit. Like, how did this happen? So I think that's what everybody is waiting for right now with Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah.
What are we going to see that's going to, like, really excite us from our childhoods?
I'm nervous, though, because they
and you have a good point. You have a good reason to be nervous.
They announced that it's like Wreck-It Ralph takes on the internet. So there's one promo image so far, and it looks like Wreck-It Ralph is, like, raising his hands above the air with what's Vanellope von Schweetz on his shoulder, like, over the internet. So you see like a Google, you see like all like Amazing instead of Amazon, you see all of these like tech companies that he's like hovering over.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the way that they're going to try to market this to like not just our generation, but the new generation too.
Generation too, which is definitely for me a step back. I liked it for the nostalgia reasons.
So my thought is that maybe Ralph gets ported to like a console like the 3DS that has a virtual console, and the hub that they had before, which was essentially in a power strip in an arcade. I think after they're done having their game played on a virtual console, they get to go to the internet.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be their hub. And it's kind of smart if you think about it. And it kind of opens up the door for not just new video game characters to be in it, but if it's technically really in a virtual console type place, we could see Mario, we could see Donkey Kong, we could see Link. We have so many opportunities. The producers of Wreck-It Ralph said after the movie came out that they wanted Mario to be a big part of Part 2. They already had talks with Nintendo to bring Mario in for Part 1. We saw Mario briefly in a cameo in the movie Pixels.
Yep, just a little.
Not a great movie, but whatever. But Donkey Kong was obviously in there.
Yep.
You know that Nintendo is becoming a little bit more lenient when it comes to leasing and like having their properties in like movies and in pop culture.
It's expanding its territories, and it's a lot of that is touching on Hollywood now. And we always mention it, but the theme parks are a great example. And I think with it expanding so much into new realms, for sure, it's a definite possibility that we'll see some more main characters with longer periods of screen time.
Who would you like to see most?
Oh, come on.
In Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, come on, Princess Peach.
Is it really Princess Peach?
Princess Peach, I would love to see something Zelda related. I don't think they're going to even touch something like Earthbound in there, of course. I think they're going to touch the main characters, the household characters that people refer to and know by heart as soon as they see even the basic silhouettes of them. And you can see that with Mario's silhouette or Princess Peach's silhouette or Link's silhouette. You know, I think that's who they're going to touch on.
So I think so too. I think Mario is going to show up though.
Yeah.
I think Mario could be not a main character, but a supporting character. In the original Wreck-It Ralph, you saw Sonic in there a little bit more. Q*bert was more of a supporting character, too. Q*bert was also a supporting character in Pixels, too.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Q*bert's willing to do whatever.
Huh.
And then Tapper was in it, too. So I feel like there's a huge opportunity to see some really classic Nintendo characters, but we have quite a bit to wait. Not quite 2 years, so it's about a year and 9 months wait.
Basically 2 years.
Pretty much 2 years.
Yeah, and who knows how many more extensions we're going to see added on to that release date.
But time flies when you're having fun.
It's true. And with the NX coming, I think time is really going to fly once that date gets closer.
I think so, too. It comes out 1 year after the NX comes out, so... Fun stuff. But either way, we'll be seeing it soon. You'll probably hear more and more about this particular movie on the newscast as we get more and more information. I am absolutely in love with the series.
And in our next segment, we're going to talk about a new figure that's come into light. And I'm excited about this one because I like high-quality figures. And from what we know about the Real Action Heroes series, and this one is from... Medicom.
Medicom, not Mediacom.
He keeps saying Mediacom.
I want to say Mediacom.
It's Medicom. Medicom. And Medicom is known for producing really nice quality 1/6 scale figures.
Expensive, too.
Very expensive. But you know what? I would say it's worth it. And I'm sure you know, because you have a very large Zelda collection when it comes to figures.
Yeah.
And your favorite happens to be the Skyward Sword edition that came out from this series.
It is. I have the Real Action Heroes version of Skyward Sword Link.
Yep.
His tunic is made of real fabric.
Yep.
And he is amazing in every way.
He is gorgeous.
I love him to death.
The gradients on the hair alone, the detail on the face, everything about it, the weight. You know, it's everything that I would want in a figure. And I wish that we could pick up these figures in stores, and every day. But we can't. Instead, we have to order them online and wait for them to be announced. And just like this one is, it's for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yay, you got it right.
I got the name right this time.
It's not Breath of the Wind.
It's not Breath of the Wind, like everybody has been saying, including myself.
Can't blame them.
I know, I really can't. But this was first kind of shown off at a Tokyo exhibition at Medicom's booth. And it's a gorgeous figure. We only have one preview of it right now, but he's wearing his blue tunic, very crisp, and it looks like definitely like it's made out of cloth, just like the Skyward Sword figure. And he has a nice look that distinguishes himself from the previous figure. So you can tell it's definitely Link, but at the same time, he's very specific to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain. I don't think I'm missing. I don't think I'm seeing this wrong. I think he has a bow on his back.
It looks well.
Yeah, I see a quiver too.
Yep, it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah, and I can see a quiver on the left-hand side. He's carrying a broadsword.
Yep.
I think that's the one thing that Zelda fans are like, what?
Yeah. And
there's no Master Sword.
He's carrying it in his right hand, too.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting.
So that was another thing that people weren't overly fond of.
Yeah.
They think Link is only a lefty.
Yes.
Which, to me, I mean, he's been a lefty, but he's also been a righty.
Yeah.
I mean, in Twilight Princess, he was a righty.
Yeah.
So get over it. I mean,
get over it.
Get over it. We know it's not the same Link from game to game.
Yes.
So just build yourself a bridge and get over is he left-handed or right-handed? I think we're past it. Yeah. But sorry, I probably offended half of you.
It's okay.
And I apologize.
It's okay. But this one will
right-hand master race.
We don't know a lot of details about this one quite yet. We did say before that, though, that it's going to be a little bit pricier. It's most likely going to retail for around $200. $200. $200, which is what the Skyward Sword would retail for.
$200 dues.
Yes. So you can expect that sometime within the next year or so.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We have no idea. There are no details. All we have is this one picture to go off of. Hopefully we'll get some more detailed promo pics, though, sometime soon.
But the nice thing about this one is it looks like it's already produced.
Yes.
So I'm a Figma collector too, at least the Nintendo Figmas. Yeah. I can't collect all the other Figmas. I don't know how I would possibly do it. But Figma generally releases like the prototypes early, the non-painted prototypes. So at least this one looks like it's pretty much ready to be put in a box and sold. So who knows? I'm guessing we're going to see a release simultaneously with the game, so in March. Yeah. So, but who knows? Maybe we might see it in time for Christmas. That'd be nice. That would a little Nintendo surprise for Amiibo Jason.
Yeah, just for you. No one else.
Just for me.
Just for you.
Thanks, Medicom.
You got it right.
I got it right.
Good job. They'll reward you with a figure now.
Do you think they will?
Of course, you got their name right.
Oh, I'm going to write them a letter, too. I think it would be nice. So, okay, finally, we have one other piece of news, and we have a new fighter has been teased for Pokken Tournament.
How exciting.
I think Nintendo did not handle DLC right with this game.
Yeah.
I am over Pokken Tournament already. Just over it. It was... I played the heck out of it.
Yes. You got very good at it, too.
I'm honestly surprised that Nintendo did not systematically release DLC for this.
I thought it was going to, similar to Splatoon.
Yeah, me too.
With such a unique idea. I mean, basically, you're taking the formula of Super Smash Brothers and you're applying it to the Pokemon series.
Yeah.
So why not go all out? I mean, Pokemon is still so loved. I mean, we see that with the trading card game, and it gets new series after new series still.
Yeah.
And obviously with Pokemon Sun and Moon, it's a hot item. So why not fully embrace that and run with it? It could have easily done that. Splatoon, I think, did well because it was constantly getting new content with that DLC.
Yeah.
And I think that whether or not the launch was exactly what Nintendo wanted, I think that it could have, I guess, grown even more. And it could have grown a fan base even more.
I mean, it wasn't... Pokemon's not a bad game in any respect.
It's not. It's a wonderful game.
It's just, at this point, a new character, I don't know if it's going to make me come back to play it.
Yeah.
But either way, the new character is not even teased for the Wii U version. It's only teased in Japan on the arcade version. Mm-hmm. It could just be a reskin for all we know.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, it's been rumored that we were going to see some Pokemon come into Pokken Tournament.
Yeah.
I think there was Abomasnow. I know, it always sounds funny. I'm not saying Obama.
It does.
So I think Abomasnow was going to be one that was rumored was supposed to show up in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's what we're going to see. I would imagine, though, if it's coming out in arcades, we're going to see an update or, DLC that would be available for the Wii U version. But either way, it's supposed to be coming out July 20th. Yep. Major update in the Japanese arcades. So I think it's just a matter of we wait.
Yeah, wait and see.
July 14th is when the announcement's made, though. So if you guys want to know who it is, we'll be covering that pretty much on the 14th. We'll be watching it live. There's a stream that we're going to have on our website that shows pretty much in real time who this new fighter is going to be. So who knows? Maybe it's going to be a crossover. Maybe it's a Digimon.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that would be a day.
Maybe it's a Digimon X Pokemon crossover that everybody wanted.
Yeah, could be.
Did anybody want that?
Nope. I didn't.
I'd play it. So I think that's what we have so far for our I was going to say our Amiibo news, our Nintendo-related news this week. I do want to jump into a few questions, though, that we got for our Nintendo news
speed round. Wow.
Can we call it the Nintendo Wire speed round?
If you would like.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you would like.
we'll workshop it.
Well, okay, that sounds good to me.
Okay, so stand by.
Okay.
As always.
Every
week, we pose the questions to our awesome folks in chat on Twitter. We ask, what do you want to hear about? So, what do you want to know about? What kind of opinion do you have on the day-to-day Nintendo shenanigans? Mm-hmm. So, we have a few. So, I'm really, really curious because a lot of these are... Some of these questions aren't necessarily like the best translated into this kind of segment, but I'll try to pick out the best ones.
Okay.
We have Enrique Salas. That's Holy Ska 1991 on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Do you think the second wave of Super Mario Amiibo will work in Mario Party 10? I would say probably.
I would think so. I mean, when we first saw like that example of Rosalina, that amiibo way back when, it was already applied to Mario Party 10.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just kind of like a no-brainer. It's automatically gonna work with him.
I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, honestly, it's just a matter of probably the smallest of updates.
Yeah.
If it's not already programmed into the game.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's already programmed
Most
into
likely.
the game. So I'm guessing yes.
Yes.
And by the way, now that you've had some time to think about it, what's your favorite out of the new series?
Out of the new series? So are we talking about the Zelda ones too, or just the new Mario?
We'll say any of the new Amiibo.
Actually, the Rosalina one is my favorite.
Yeah.
And the Boo one. I really like the Boo one. For the glow-in-the-dark reasons, I like that it's a nice counterpart for the 3DS cover plates.
I love it.
It's so cool. They both glow in the dark, and that's something that we haven't seen before with Amiibo.
Very true.
But I was excited when I saw the Rosalina design way back when. So knowing that it's becoming a reality for me, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I love Boo. If we're comparing both Amiibo lines, though, I have to go Archer and Link.
Oh, I know.
It's way too cool.
That's why I'm like, wait, which one are we talking about? Because immediately my mind goes to the beautiful, they're little art pieces.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
They are. They're beautiful.
So I know that wasn't necessarily exactly your question, but we sort of sidestepped it.
Kind of, yeah. Let's go with it.
We do what we can. Will there be a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild demo in the Nintendo eShop? I would hope so.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know if it's going to happen, though.
Really? I think they're going to want to raise the hype even more. I think that it's definitely doable. I mean, it's a possibility.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
If anything, maybe they'll have demo stations.
I thought that if they were going to do it, they would have done it at E3, around the E3 time to let people try the game out.
No, I think they could definitely push it back more. And if they're not going to have it in the eShop, why not have it at demo stations at Best Buys or, that's what they've done in the past with other games.
I'm gonna take you way back to the Xbox 360, and there's a reason why I'm taking you back this far. They had a demo for Dead Rising.
Yeah.
And it was, and I think it's very similar because Dead Rising was this gigantic open world thing where you can pretty much do anything, kill anything, craft weapons out of things. And you could play for 30 minutes and then it cut it off.
Yeah.
I never bought the game because I kept replaying the demo.
Oh.
Because all I did was just mow zombies down and it was the most fun thing ever. Like, I didn't care about the story.
Yeah.
All I cared about was killing hundreds and hundreds of zombies.
It's kind of like back in the day when you played Oregon Trail and all you wanted to do was play the hunting portion of the game. You didn't want to really do anything else.
So that being said, I think it's actually pretty difficult to translate a huge open world game into a 30-minute demo.
True.
So I think it's going to be complicated if they tried to do that. At E3, I mean, that's exactly what they did at E3, but they had somebody with you the entire time, guiding you through the process,
through it.
and then cutting you off.
Oh, that was so sad. Actually, the person didn't cut you off. A message would just come up automatically on your screen, and that would be it.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to translate that well into a demo.
Yeah.
So, but good question, though.
That was.
So, all right, with so many Nintendo Figmas, this is Bobby, by the way.
Hi, Bobby.
With so many Nintendo Figmas and Nendroids, what character would Jason and Lauren want the most? So, if any character could be a Figma or a Nendroid, what would you pick?
A Figma or a Nendroid?
I think I know
my
what you're going to
gosh.
pick right away, but who knows?
Oh, for Nendroid, it's kind of funny. The first one that popped to mind, 2 or 3. First one, of course, was Peach.
Yeah, that's
but,
what I thought.
But the second one that popped to mind immediately was Ness. Ness as a Nendroid would be really cool.
I think it would actually translate really well to a Nendroid.
It would. I think it was his overall shape because he has such a round head. And in fact, I think the reason why I like that idea so much is because all 4 of the main characters would translate very well to Nendroid form. My favorite, and I always say this, is Jeff.
Yeah.
And I immediately wanted Jeff, but I thought, well, not everyone is going to be a huge Jeff fan because he's more in the background in the series. So maybe at least Ness.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be amazing. Or, if I really could, a Chrono Trigger series would be incredible.
That would be cool too.
It would be really cool, but I even though it has a huge following, I don't know if the demand for it is as great as it would be for Earthbound.
I think a NES Nendroid would sell like crazy numbers.
Totally would.
For me, I already got the Figma I wanted the most, and that was Zero Suit Samus. That's coming later this year. Cannot wait for that. We already have a Link Figma, which is right in front of me. We've got a Samus Figma, which is also right in front of me. And then we have another Link Figma coming out in September. It might be even August. I have to check my pre-order. And that is the Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds Figma.
Yeah.
So I'm already kind of covered in the Figma territory.
Well, that's good. I mean, you met your goals.
Yeah.
Like, those are the ones that you really wanted.
If I had to say I wanted a Figma of something, it would be an Amiibo Jason Figma. That's
Of course. We already have custom Amiibo made for us.
That's true.
Now that you mentioned it with stuff on the desk here, I would love to see a villager.
I can see that.
A villager or Nendroid has the same like round features as Ness, and I think that would actually go over very well too. I'm thinking of the Red Trainer from Pokemon, and that Nendroid. That was a gorgeous Nendroid.
And we already have an Isabelle Nendroid that's already out. So it's not like Animal Crossing's off the table for the good folks at Good Smile. So.
No, definitely. Yeah.
But
that's good.
Yeah, for sure. There you have it, though.
Yeah.
That is it for episode 8 of the Nintendo Newscast. As always, it was fun. We have some new places you can find us. Happily Candid, where can you find us?
Oh, new
and
places.
You.
Oh, and me. I mean, well, first I'll get to me, and then we'll get to the other places. You can find me at Happily Candied on Twitter. And the link to my sugary corner of the world, happilycandied.com, is also in my description on Twitter. But you can find us, you can find us, it's actually our old account, both the new name for Nintendo Wire at Ninwire, Ninwire. That's on Twitter.
It's on Twitter.
Yep. And you can also find us at Amiibo News on Twitter.
Yep. You got it.
Yep.
And then for me, you can find me at Amiibo Jason on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. Search for Amiibo News or Nintendo Inquirer or Nintendo Wire.
Nintendo Wire.
On Twitter, on Facebook and Twitter. Obviously, you already mentioned that.
Yes.
And then we have this awesome new shop. Again, we mentioned this at the top of the newscast.
Yeah.
Go to the NintendoWire.com at the very top. Click the shop page. Take a look at all the cool stuff that we have for sale. You don't have to buy it, but at least take a look and see how cool it is because I love it.
And if you haven't checked out our gorgeous new site yet, please do so now. It's NintendoWire.com, and we hope that you enjoy everything about it. We love feedback, so feel free to shoot us a tweet on Twitter or just, submit contact message through the contact form.
Very true.
Yep.
So that does it for another fantastic newscast. Again, thank you for joining us. We'd like to thank again, we already thanked at the top of the hour, our amazing Patreons. You guys honestly are helping us grow and build the site and our channel and our newscast. So we couldn't do it without you. We are incredibly grateful. So thank you to all of our Patreons.
Yes, from the bottom of our hearts, you've helped Nintendo Wire grow, and we're going to continue to grow. And on a day-to-day basis, we are just so thrilled to know that you support and believe in us.
So thank you.
Yes.
So have a good morning or a good evening, depending on when you're listening to this. And we'll be back next week with episode 9 of the Nintendo Newscast.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.